Hey Book Dragons, welcome back to my channel. It's time for my monthly update. Let's go! Thank you to my patrons. I really appreciate all you do to support the channel. Happy New Year, everybody! Woo! It's 2023, and you know what that means. It's time to find out how I did to end the year, and I'm going to talk all about that in this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to help support the channel and you want to catch more of my future videos, that's the way to do it. And let's get right down to the nitty-gritty. So we're going to talk about what I read in December. We're going to talk about what I watched in December. We're going to talk about my plans for reading in January. And also what I'm planning to watch in January. So are you ready? Here we go. Got my eyes on. We're good. Everything's in frame. All right. So December was a decent reading month. I had technically only planned to read 5 books in December because, you know, it's December, right? And everything's busy and stuff. So yeah, I did that, and I did okay. There was one book that I didn't get read in December, and we'll talk about that. So the first book on this list that I finished in December is Ghost Story by Jim Butcher. This is book 13 in the Dresden Files, and it literally picks right up from where we left off in Changes. So if you saw my video where I talked about my Dresden journey so far, you heard me talk a little bit about Changes and my experience with it, and just a huge cliffhanger ending right in your face at the end. And so I was really glad to pick up right away and read Ghost Story to get the other half of that cliffhanger ending, to get the resolution. So I'm very glad I was able to read that. I also read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This was my very first time ever reading A Christmas Carol, and oh my goodness, guys, I absolutely loved it. I am so happy I got to read this book finally after all these years of being alive, and I've never read A Christmas Carol, so it was about time. I've seen tons of adaptations. I did do a review and a book tag centered around A Christmas Carol. If you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the cards at the end of the video for you to click on after you are done with this one. All right. I also read Muse of Nightmares. This is book 2 in the Strange the Dreamer duology. Such a good book. I was really impressed with how it ended. It was a wonderful resolution to the story. I just really enjoyed my experience reading both of these fantastic books. I will be doing a review on the duology here in the near future probably, so keep your eye out for that. I also finished Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in a series, and it was really fantastic, actually. At least the latter half was. The first 50% was honestly kind of a chore to read. It was kind of a slog in there, you know, and I wasn't sure if it was really going to pick up for me, but it finally did. I kept going. I gave it to the 50% mark, and it really started moving. And I thoroughly enjoyed the ending of the book. So I do want to read The Liar's Knot eventually. And I think book 3 is coming out this year sometime. So I'm excited to read more. It's definitely piqued my interest. And I did that as a buddy read with Angie the Bookaholic. And so make sure to check out her channel. She and I will be doing a discussion on that at some point, so I'm looking forward to that. And then the 5th book that I had planned to finish in December, and I had committed to you guys and I said I am definitely going to finish it in December, and I didn't. This was Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, and I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it was just if I wasn't feeling it. It definitely isn't holding me like the other two books in the series did, especially Royal Assassin. But I am committed to finishing it, so I will finish it probably in January, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But I didn't finish it. I know, slap on my hand. I said I would, and I didn't. So that was my reading month for December. Pretty short. I had a fantastic Christmas. I recently released a book haul talking about several of the books that I received as gifts or just bought myself during the last few months of 2022. And a lot of that was birthday and Christmas gifts. So you can check that out if you're interested. But my son was home from college for Christmas, and really enjoyed having him home. So, we were doing a lot of family stuff and just generally making merry. And the month of December is the perfect time for a reading slump. So I just didn't get as much reading done as I'd wanted to, but I got some reading done and finished some amazing books. So let's talk about what I watched in December, okay? The first thing on my list is Elf. This is a family tradition in our household. Every 21st of December, we watch Elf together, and it just continues to be a fantastic movie. I never get tired of Elf. It's just so funny and such a heartwarming story for the holidays. It's absolutely a classic Christmas movie. And we also watched The Polar Express together on Christmas Eve, another family tradition, and another movie that never gets old. For me, anyway, and I don't think it gets old for my kids either. Just really a cute movie and very heartwarming. We always have our hot chocolate ready to go when it gets to that certain scene in the movie with the hot chocolate, and so yeah, that's always a lot of fun. And then my daughter and I started His Dark Materials season 3. So excited to finally be finishing this series. It's a phenomenal series and a phenomenal adaptation of the books. I couldn't be happier. Yeah, there were some changes, and I see why they made those changes, and it still is making for an incredible story. So really happy that that season is finally out, and we're going to get a completion to that saga. My daughter and I also finished Wednesday Addams, the Addams Family. It's an absolutely ridiculously fun show on Netflix original. It is just such a great show. I highly recommend it to you guys if you haven't watched it. The humor is just positively deadpan, and it's a very dark humor as well. It's great. I love it. So make sure to check that one out. We also started watching Willow with some friends. Now, we started off by watching the original movie with our friends. My daughter had never seen it before. My friend's son had never seen it before either, I don't think. So we watched the movie, and then we started watching the new sequel series that just premiered on Disney Plus. Really enjoying it so far. I loved seeing the movie again for the first time in a long time. I think the last time I saw the movie was when I was a teenager. So it's been a lot of years, guys, and Willow is just really good. My son and I started watching The Sopranos. We watched the pilot episode, and I know I'm behind on the times. The Sopranos ended several years ago. I'm just never gotten around to watching it. I've still never watched the Godfather movies, right? And which I know I'm going to get comments on that, Chaz. Why haven't you seen the Godfather movies? But I also really wanted to watch The Sopranos. I just never have. And I like mafia stuff, so I don't know why I haven't. I haven't. So there you go. I watched the pilot episode, and I'm definitely hooked. I want to see more. And then we started watching Pawn Stars on Netflix. This is a show all about pawn shops. And it's really interesting to see some of the trinkets and collectibles that people come in with and are asking really high dollar amounts for from a pawn shop, no less. And it's actually quite interesting. So I definitely think if that's something that piques your interest, you should check it out. So let's move on from the things I watched in December to Chasm Friends. I only had one Chasm Friends episode in December. That was with Jake, the bookish drummer, and his girlfriend Stacy. My first couples episode, and that was really, really awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed having them on. They are just two really great people, and they're really cute together as well. Just had a great time chatting with them, and I look forward to hopefully doing so again in the future. So because it was a busy month, I only did one Chasm Friends episode in December. I'm very much looking forward to doing more this year. Also in December, I did do another of my Dresden chats with JR from JR Carroll, and I will leave a link to his channel down below as well if you want to check him out. We've been doing consistent live discussions on the Dresden Files books with a group of other people, and having a blast. I'm really enjoying it. It's nice to have a deep discussion on those Dresden books, because other people who have read them, especially if they've read them several times like JR has, they give you windows into the books that you may not get from a first reading, and maybe things that you missed. So I've been thoroughly enjoying those chats as well. It's been a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to more of those in 2023 as well. So let's move on to my reading plans for January. Starting off, I am going to finish Assassin's Quest. I need to do it. I just need to get it done with. Because my goal is to read Live Ship Traders this year, and I'm not going to get to Live Ship Traders if I haven't finished the Farseer trilogy, right? So I need to do it. I've only got, I think, about 70% left in the book, which sounds like a lot, but I think it'll fly pretty quickly. I'm just going to try and sit down and focus solely on Assassin's Quest, unless I get distracted and want to pick up a different book or whatever. So we will see, because I do have other books on the list here. So I am also reading Cold Days, which is book 14 in the Dresden Files. I'm continuing my plan of one book a month on the Dresden Files, and so that's the next book in line, and I'm really excited to see where it goes, because while the ending of Ghost Story was not a cliffhanger per se, it definitely left some loose ends that I want to see where they go. So that is going to be happening in January. I'm also going to be reading Partners in Crime. That is book 2 in the Tommy and Tuppence series by Agatha Christie. And I'm going to be buddy reading that with my friend Mona Lisa from Mona Lisa Reads. I'll link her channel down below as well. And I'm very excited to continue what I remember to be some of my favorite Agatha Christie detectives. I'm really excited to read this book again and experience it all over again, kind of for the first time since it's been so long. You'll be hearing about that one, because I think we're going to try and do some live streams talking about those books. I'm also going to be reading Caliban's War. This is the second book in The Expanse. And I'm going to be buddy reading this with Carl from Geek on My Sleeve. And after we finish Caliban's War, we're probably going to do a live stream discussion or something like that on the first 2 books in the Expanse series. So more to come on that. Stay tuned, but I'm very excited to finally get to book 2. It's been a while since I've read Leviathan's Wake, so it's about time I get on the rest of the books in the series. I'm also going to be reading Wizard of Earthsea. Now, technically, this is a reread for me, okay? So I'm going to be reading Wizard of Earthsea, and of course I plan to continue and finish the Earthsea saga this year. But I'm really excited to be getting back into Ursula K. Le Guin and following that story as it moves along and finish the series. And then I'm also going to read Secret Project #1 from Brandon Sanderson. And I can't exactly remember the name of the book right offhand. I know it's something like Tress of the Sea or something like that. I'm going to put it right up here. I can't remember the name because everybody keeps referring to it as Secret Project #1, so maybe nobody remembers the name. I'm very excited to see what Brandon did in his crunch project during the pandemic. So this is going to be interesting. And then if I get time, and I'm just saying this is a big if, if I get time, I am going to have an elective slot open for me to just pick a book at random that I want to read. And I'm kind of thinking it will be Endymion by Dan Simmons. I'm thinking. And again, it's a big if. It just depends on whether I finish all my other books first. So I will keep you posted on that, okay? Now, let's move on and talk about what I want to watch in January. And really, it's pretty simple. I really only have a couple of major plans, and that is to finish the Willow miniseries on Disney Plus and to finish his Dark Materials Season 3. That's the big goal. We'll probably watch some more Doctor Who in there. My daughter and I need to finish Cabinet of Curiosities by Guillermo del Toro on Netflix as well. So we're probably going to get to those as well. Other than that, those are the only two solid plans that I have for watching shows in January. And so that is it. Let me know in the comments what you think of my goals and how I did in December to finish out 2022. Make sure you are reading more books. I will talk to you soon.